early on in the payer side, we were constantly looking at driving down healthcare costs, which in and of itself isn't a bad thing if you do it the right
Right.
way. Unfortunately, a lot of what we were doing is what I thought was sort of the wrong way to do it, was to just sort of drive down price or, hurt physicians, et cetera, rather than looking for more efficiency or higher quality. I will tell you that one experience that stuck out, this was towards the end of my career at Cigna, that I really hit me that, boy, this is the wrong way to do this, is I was in a national meeting and Mark Bertolini, who now runs Aetna, was in the meeting. He was working for Cigna at the time. And he was explaining to us that he thought Cigna was a little too physician friendly and that it was time to execute a few hostages. That he wanted
Literally,
us all
those
to,
were the words he
those were
used.
his words. Yeah, execute a
Yes.
few hostages. And so he told us
Oh
to go
God.
back to our markets and terminate 10% of our physician network, which we could do without cause legally. And we told him, that was probably a little too much. And he eventually got down to about 1%. And I had to go back and terminate 150 out of my 15,000 physicians just because we were going to execute hostages. And I thought, this is just the wrong way to approach something as important as healthcare.
Wow. That feels that way. It feels that
Yeah.
way when groups get kicked out for no good reason. They do everything
Yep.
they're supposed to, and then their contracts don't get renewed or they get reduced to half.
Yeah,
Wow.
the really scary part of that story is, I have a pretty sarcastic sense of humor. And
Mhm.
so in this process, I sort of said, well, if we're going to do this, we got to find the right doctors. I mean, let's find some doctors that have really sick patients, and maybe their patients will stay with their doctor and switch insurance companies. That'll help us. I mean, we got to, the rheumatologists, man, their patients never get better. We got to get rid of those guys. And
Hmm.
infectious disease. And I was trying to be sarcastic to the point of trying to point out that this is a bad idea. Instead, they took me seriously. They're like, hey, you're right. We need to really look at which specialties will get the best return on. And that, again, that was another chilling moment in that whole story of like, holy crap, this isn't where I want to be.
That is horrible.